Hey everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the AskDAP show, where we answer your Volkswagen and Audi questions. Let's get into the show.
Justin P. via email says, "Hi, love the video, helped me a lot when I needed to replace my valve cover gasket in my 06 Jetta. My question for you is I recently noticed a leak coming from the transmission of my car. Not a lot, but a drop here and there on the driveway. From others that I work with at a dealership, they say that the rear main seal could be a problem with the Mark V cars. Is this true, or do I have a big service coming up for me? I love the car and depend on it to get from work, school, and home. Thank you."
Justin, so the Mark V 2.5 engine, you obviously, I don't know if you had an oil leak related to your valve cover. I assume you probably had a bad PCV valve in the valve cover, which is why you replaced it. First thing I would do is make sure you don't have any leaks related to the valve cover replacement itself, and you don't have any oil coming down. The best way to do that would be to clean off all the oil, then to recheck it. In the future, oil obviously always runs down the engine, so that way you can clean off the whole engine and transmission and then determine where it's starting to come from by checking it periodically to see where you have oil building up. 2, most commonly something that's often thought of as a rear main seal problem happens to be problems with the vacuum pump. It is on the driver's side of the engine, kind of near where the cylinder head and cylinder block meet. It's right above the transmission and is often mistaken for a rear main seal leak on 2.5, which 2.5s very rarely have rear main seal problems as far as we know. And so most likely you have a 2.5 vacuum pump issue. You cannot replace the seal on the outer housing cover. You actually have to replace the entire vacuum pump. We'll put a link to that in the description below. Also, another note is recently a guy who we work with a lot, the Humble Mechanic, recently did a DIY on the 2.5 vacuum pump, which is really awesome because normally you're supposed to take the transmission out of the vehicle to be able to replace that vacuum pump. He has some tricks that show you how to do it without having to do that. So we'll put a link to that as well in the description. Replace the vacuum pump. Should help you.
Alex 2.0T via email says, "Hey, is there a video or answer on aftermarket negative camber? I'm looking for a few more inches, but I can't find the way."
Alex, so rear camber, if you're at a point where you're looking to get rear camber adjustment, for anybody who's not sure of what he's referring to, basically when you go to a certain amount that you lower a vehicle, the wheels and tires start rubbing on the quarter panels or fenders, and people want to camber the wheels in to get the tops of the wheel in so that they can tuck the wheels into the body and have them not rub. So there's a factory adjustment for camber which gives you a pretty significant amount. I believe Max, one of the guys who works with us here, said he thinks it's around 5 degrees of camber that you can get negative, which should be enough to get you what you need. Now, if that doesn't work, you can always there are control arms that offer more adjustment for camber, but we've heard there are some issues around potential future toe problems and things like that with those. So if you can't get what you're looking for with the factory adjustment, then you'll probably have to get control arms.
Giovanni S. via email says, "Hi there, I'm a big fan of your videos. I was wondering if you could do a video regarding a cooling system performance code P2181 for a Mark V GTI with a TSI engine. Would you recommend that the entire water pump be replaced since this houses the thermostat? Or is it more practical to simply replace the thermostat? I'm trying to determine if this is something I can do myself or if I should have a shop take care of it for me. I'm not sure if the thermostat can be replaced going in through the top or if the car needs to be lifted and done from the bottom. Thanks for the videos, guys."
Giovanni, so most fault codes related to cooling system problems are usually malfunction in cooling system. Now, an easy way to tell if it's a thermostat related problem, or really I guess the most common way that the thermostats fail, would be a issue where the vehicle won't actually warm up. So what will happen is you'll start the car, and right now it's fairly warm weather still around here, but as it gets cold, you'll see the car won't actually get to operating temperature, or it'll get to operating temperature, then drop back down, and so forth. If that's happening, you can be almost certain that you have an issue with your thermostat, because when most VW thermostats go bad, they get stuck open, causing them to constantly flow coolant through the radiator even when the vehicle is still cold. Now the other variable with that is going to be, if it's not a thermostat, it's probably going to be a coolant temp sensor problem, which on that TSI engine, they're actually in the same place. They're built into the water pump assembly, so you might be better off just replacing them both at one time to ensure that you knock the problem out right away. So is it a DIY? That's kind of a tough DIY. It's the water pump assembly is underneath the intake manifold, and most technicians, as far as I know, who do them blind. So basically they've done a lot of them, they have a lot of experience, and they do them without actually seeing a whole lot of anything. They kind of stick their arms underneath the manifold and then work everything through there. So it really depends. It may be something you might want to have somebody else do for you if you don't feel comfortable with that particular DIY. Thank you for watching episode 9 of the AskDAP show. If you want your Volkswagen and Audi questions answered, shoot us an email.